at Times Tower Banking Hall or City Hall and Makadara offices, and pay each day only through the Nairobi County Revenue Collection accounts at Cooperative Bank of Kenya. You stand to gain 100% from the 100% waiver extension. At the end of the waiver period, KRA will institute enforcement measures. Terms and conditions apply.
Under Assistia Mita na Absa, the official banking partner of the EPL in Africa. Stand a chance to win 1 million Kenya shillings every month when you deposit into your Absa personal or business account. That's Absa. That's Africanacity.
Sumo Premium Candles. It is made of pure, fully refined paraffin wax. It doesn't have smoke. It has long burning hours. It is non-drip. It doesn't smell.
Always smile and work with Sumo Candle from Rock Industries Limited. For inquiries, visit our offices at Ndume Road off Lungalunga Road behind Carton Manufacturers near Sinai Stage. You can also talk to us through 0722 575 619.
Please eat your breakfast.
Look, Ma, he lost his cape.
Not all superheroes wear capes. There are heroes all around us, like the ones that bring nutrition to millions of us every day.
Wow, am I a hero too?
Yes, you too. And your dad. He goes to the farm every day to make sure his grain is of high quality.
Superheroes have their own sidekick. Does Dad have his own sidekick?
Yes, they are his partners. They take the grains and produce this Nutri that you love so much. Then it gets to the local supermarket and we buy it from there. Nutri makes us stronger and healthier.
Strong like a superhero.
Yes, son. But do you know why your dad and his sidekicks are superheroes?
Because they make Nutri.
Every spoonful of Nutri comes loaded with the necessary vitamins, protein and minerals for you and your family to become healthier and stronger. Pick up a pack today from your nearest store. Nutri. Every spoonful counts.
Oh my, oh my, oh my days. Life is wonderful. Life is wonderful. Life is wonderful. Life is wonderful. Never understood. Never understood. Life can be this good.
This is NTV.
Good afternoon. My name is Olive Burrows and you're watching NTV at One. Former Prime Minister Raila Odinga and the former Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka are among high-profile dignitaries currently present at the funeral service of the late Senior Counsel and 2010 Constitution Committee of Experts Chair Nzamba Kitonga underway in Kitui County. Nzamba, who is survived by 4 children and 1 wife, will later be laid to rest at his home in Mutito, Kitui East constituency. Let's listen into the tributes.
Our many interactions at Impala Club. For some of us, Impala is an extension of our homes. We check in regularly. Nzamba and I were no exception to this rule. I became a trustee of Impala at the same time as Nzamba. Nzamba, Lubembe, Carol and Lukalo were elected trustees with us in 2005. Prior to that, together with the late Professor Ruben Olembo at the helm and Caroline Lukalo as club chair, we fought many battles to maintain the integrity of the club. Eventually, the club membership saw it fit to elect us as trustees. Anne Kamunge later joined us and was elected together with Washira Kariuki and Leonard Mudachi in their capacities as chairman of the Old Cambrian Society. Various club chairmen have served in their capacities as trustees, with each developing their own special connection to Nzamba. I would want to say the current chairman, Carlo Goda, has a particularly poignant connection, like many of us, having formed a bond that has lasted close to 40 years. So the question is, who was Nzamba to us as trustees? Collectively, the Board of Trustees has known Nzamba for well over a century. It is impossible to share the individual and collective memories and recollections, the disagreements we had, the jokes we shared. I wish I could describe the feeling in the room when we gathered. What is present is complete respect for each other's humanity, existence, and point of view, which Nzamba loved to draw out.
Our apologies. Nzamba Kitonga is actually survived by 3 wives. Seth Olale will be bringing us up to speed on the speeches that were given, tributes, and how he's remembered in our subsequent bulletins. We cross over now from Kitui County to Busia, where an assistant chief of Ongaroi sub-location in Teso South has been sentenced to a total of, get this, 115 years in prison by a Busia court for arson and inciting violence against a family in 2016. The prosecution said that the assistant chief incited people to burn over 20 houses, kill livestock and destroy crops that belonged to the family in June of 2016 on claims that the family had bewitched his late brother.
Busia High Court Senior Principal Magistrate Patrick Olengo found Andrew Odato guilty of arson and inciting violence against the family of one Francis Ongamo, whose houses were torched, livestock killed and crops destroyed in his farm in the year 2016 for alleged witchcraft. He was sentenced to 23 years imprisonment on each of the 5 accounts against him, totaling to 115 years. The affected family, with over 30 members, were forced to find a home in an abandoned government building in Alupe, where they have stayed since June 2016. The family said justice has finally been served.
Alipoamua kesi ambayo ilikaa miaka 4 na nusu. Nashukuru sana kazi yake ambayo alitutendea.
However, they claim that they're living in fear after receiving threats.
Sasa kama hao watu wametukataa tusirudi kwa udongo wetu, tutakuwa na udongo ingine wapi ambao sisi na familia yetu tutaingia. Kulingana ile vitisho ya wale wahusika ambao walirudi juzi kutoka kotini, tunahofia wakati wote mtu anaweza poteza maisha yake, sababu tayari vitisho imeanza kutoka.
They're calling on the government to provide security for them, or alternatively give them a safer place to live.
To Kericho County now, where 22 women in Bureti have been admitted at the Kapkatet Sub-County Hospital after they had allegedly undergone female genital mutilation and suffered some infections. All the women, who are said to be married and above the age of 21, were found recovering in 2 grass-thatched houses just 7 kilometers from the Bureti police station. The traditional circumciser has been arrested, with the husbands of the women being sought after. The arrest was made by DCI officers from Bureti, who responded to a tip-off from members of the public from the Kaptele village of Kapsugut in Bureti.
There's some reasons as why they've decided to undergo FGM. According to them, they are facing a lot of stigma from their colleagues, married colleagues. By the way, they are all married, and they have children. So they feel a lot of stigma, and this season being, as we are nearing the circumcision period, some of them were intending to take care of their traditionally initiated boys, and they are like the customs or their traditions cannot allow them to take care of the initiates.
What do you make of that, with the authorities seeking out those women's husbands? Share your thoughts on the @NTV Kenya handle. My handle is @OBurrows. At least 50 people have been arrested in Kisumu County as the police cracked down on those flouting COVID-19 health protocols. The 50 were arrested for failing to wear a mask while in public. Police in Kisumu say that the crackdown will continue in a bid to make sure residents adhere to the measures. Across in Bungoma County, residents say that the 20,000 shilling fine they get slapped with for violating the rules is too steep and are appealing to the government to revise it downwards. Over the last few days, the government has been conducting crackdowns across the country, leading to the arrest of many people. Yesterday, 4 restaurants were closed in the capital after they were found to be flouting the COVID containment protocols.
Ukishika mwananchi wa kawaida kwa sababu ya mask, pengine amekuwa tuna shilingi ile 20 ya kununua mask moja, na kesho yake ni chafu ama kesho yake ikatike, hana hiyo 20 kesho yake. Unaona hii mask inataka kila siku at least uko na pesa ya kununua mask.
Mimi naonelea mambo na mask tuzingatie na tutakuwa sawa sawa.
Staying on the same theme, the government has been called upon to produce enough copies of the Building Bridges initiative as a way of minimizing the spread of the coronavirus that could spike as a result of people sharing copies. Uasin Gishu Deputy Governor Daniel Chemno said that the rising cases of COVID-19 in the county was alarming and the sharing of BBI copies could further worsen the situation. The officers from the county called on the residents to strictly adhere to containment measures by the Ministry of Health. They spoke in Eldoret while receiving sensitization messages on COVID-19 from the Center for Human Rights and Mediation.
As you have seen, COVID is still with us. The numbers are rising every day, and this calls for more actions from us all.
So we are really pleased that you are here to receive our IEC material on COVID-19, and that's a gesture that the county is ready to work with other stakeholders.
Lakini tunahitaji kila mtu awe na kopi kwa maana ya COVID. Ukishika na mwingine ashike, itaeneza ugonjwa. Kwa hiyo serikali lazima itoe copies kwa enough people who are going to vote per county. Otherwise, moja ikiwa shared na watu wengi, inaweza kueneza maradhi ya COVID-19.
Speaking of mediation, Chief Justice David Maraga has called on members of the public to resolve disputes through mediation as a way of reducing case backlog in courts. Maraga says family disputes, including succession matters, should only be forwarded to the courts for final orders to allow for magistrates and judges space to clear pending matters. The CJ was speaking in Olkalau, where he commissioned a magistrates court and noted that the judiciary will establish small claims courts to handle minor issues of less than 1 million shillings. The judiciary has partnered with the International Law Development Organization and the Mediation Training Institute East Africa and launched a program to train judicial officials, advocates, county officials, and members of the public on mediation.
We are pressed with a number of cases. Please use alternative dispute resolution mechanisms. ADR, arbitration, court-annexed mediation, and have quite a number of those cases dealt with. Cases like the ones of succession should not come to courts. They should come to court for orders to enable them go and distribute the estate. So I want to urge the community. You know, succession cases, we have only 2 issues to deal with: identification of the heirs and the distribution of the estate. And that can be done by religious leaders in your groups. That can be done by the chiefs and the assistant chiefs and assistants, so that when they come to court, because you need a court order to have the land subdivided, if there is need for subdivision, they just come and record a consent and we move on.
President Uhuru Kenyatta's official visit to the state of Vatican City has entered its second day as the president seeks the Catholic Church's enhanced participation in Kenya's education, training and health sector in support of the government's Big Four agenda. Besides yesterday's private meeting with Pope Francis, the president and his delegation will continue with the bilateral talks with their hosts, led by the Secretary of the Holy See, Bishop Pietro Parolin. On Friday, Kenya's role in regional peace and security, especially in South Sudan, where Pope Francis is personally involved, was discussed. President Kenyatta is the first Kenyan head of state to visit the Vatican and meet the Pope since Kenya established diplomatic ties with the Holy See in 1965.
And the Vatican, or the Holy See, are very much involved and care about peace and security, not only in Kenya, but also in our region. Together, we have worked with the Vatican on establishing peace and security missions, working jointly within the region and even with IGAD, and also the ongoing situation in South Sudan.
Back home, aloe vera farmers in Baringo who had abandoned the industrial crop in 2004 due to poor management and lack of market can now breathe a sigh of relief after the county government signed a prior informed consent with a Chinese firm. The signing of the PIC on commercialization of the aloe vera crop in the county allows the investor Zonken Company Limited to purchase the aloe sap from the farmers, as well as promote the growing of the crop in areas with suitable climatic conditions such as Tiati, Baringo North, Baringo South, Mogotio, as well as Kerio Valley region. Aloe vera is a medicinal succulent plant grown in arid and semi-arid regions and is used in the treatment of various ailments and in cosmetic production.
Aloe has actually grown in almost closer to 7,000 square kilometers of our county, which covers Baringo South, Baringo North, and Tiati, hoping that also it is in Mogotio and some parts of Baringo Central. So this is a journey that I'm told started way back in 2002, and I want to appreciate the very initiator of this very, very important program.
There is a new beginning, because right now we are taking Baringo to a direction of economic empowerment. You know, before, we used to be known as a county of selling goods. But right now, we are changing that notion.
A 32-year-old man in Kericho County has invented chicken incubators from medium density fiber boards, commonly known as MDF boards. These incubators are now being used in different counties and are fitted with air conditioners, exhaust fans and heaters.
Kiptegan Village, Kericho County, housing under construction, but a different kind of housing. The units taking shape here are chicken incubators. 32-year-old Robert Kipkoech is the brain behind this innovation.
The one was of 352, the other one was 176, and the other was 528. Eventually, I also came up with the one for 1056.
These incubators are proving popular in several counties. There is a reason why he prefers the MDF board instead of metallic material. His incubators are fitted with an air conditioner and an exhaust fan. It also has a heater whose heat is distributed evenly in the machine.
Naona hii ni nzuri sababu tulikuwa na hiyo ingine kitambo yenye mimi ndio balitupea. Sasa tulikuwa tukiweka 264 tuna haja 40. Kurudia tena ni hivyo hivyo. Sasa hii nilianza na 360. Vile nilienda kununua hii nikaanza na 360.
The Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization, KALRO, says there are many factors that contribute to non-hatching of eggs.
An incubator is an ideal place for growth. If an embryo would grow, then the bacteria will even grow faster. Therefore, if you collect eggs from different farms, farm A, B, C, D, you will not know which farm is infected, which farm has a lot of bacteria, and therefore you'll be introducing bacteria into your flock. So the advice is that if you have an incubator, have your own source of eggs.
Kip Koech has employed 4 workers, a carpenter, a welder and their assistants. He's struggling to cope with the growing orders placed for his brand of cupboard-like egg hatchers. This venture is being supported by the Kenya Climate Smart Agriculture Project. Nuru Abdulaziz, NTV.
Kenyans' ingenuity never ceases to amaze. We take a break. We'll be back with more on the other side.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
That's when she replied, "Give me one good reason to stay with you." Nikamtumia 100 reasons to be my boo. Akanisho unabonga sana kwa text lakini in real life when I'm timid. Hapo nika get minutes ya kupaint picture vivid. Akasema ati I'm in demand. Unadhani DM yangu ni MD? Kumbe nilikuwa nishasotiwa na 100 MB.
Call, SMS and browse from only 10 shillings with Telkom. Now that's power. Telkom, moving with you.
Fun and food got together beautifully at GMC Place. Enjoy our succulent meals in a serene setting with a varied choice of fun games for the little ones. Cup it up with a cuppa or a cocktail, all available to your taste. Discover the joy of a warm pool by diving into the Blue Oasis heated pool. Or at GMC Place, the fun never ends. Make your reservation today on 0701 560 560.
Kenya Medical Training College will hold its 88th graduation ceremony on December 3rd, 2020, virtually at KMTC Graduation Square, Nairobi from 10 a.m. Graduates must pay a graduation fee of 2,500 to National Bank. A donning graduation gown will be optional, and graduates wishing to get one can visit KMTC headquarters in Nairobi from November 4, 2020 to November 20th, 2020. We invite you to join the live event on Facebook at KMTC Official and YouTube at KMTC Official. KMTC, training for better health.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Thank you for staying with us on NTV at 1. We start with agricultural matters, and over 10,000 sugarcane farmers have petitioned the Senate to intervene and safeguard cane growers' interests by upholding the sugar regulations of 2020 that were gazetted by the Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Peter Munya. The farmers, drawn from sugar-growing counties of Kisumu, Bungoma, Busia, Homa Bay, Narok, Kakamega, Uasin Gishu, Trans Nzoia, Busia and Nandi, cautioned against any move to reintroduce zoning of sugar-growing areas, raising concerns that a lack of legal framework is adversely affecting the sugar sector and that the interests of farmers who continue to be subjected to ad hoc policies, directives and decisions by officials of national and county governments. In their letter submitted to the clerk of the Senate, the accused persons of interest for agitating for the enactment of laws and the formulation of regulations and policies against the best interests of farmers.
The issue of zoning and contractual farming have been contentious issues in this industry for a long time. As farmers who supply over 92% of the raw materials to the sugar mills, the Senate and the Council of Governors have seen fit to consult us, and they are making decisions over our head. We farmers reject this, and we want the Senate to enact legislation that will protect farmers from being zoned.
We are pleading with the Senate to do their oversight role. For the governors, we represent the sugarcane farmers, and let them respect that whatever the cabinet secretary has done, he has done all the consultation with the sugarcane farmers and the challenges that we're facing sugar sector. Today, we are proud and happy in that our local sugar factories are able to mill and sell their sugar. That is after the cabinet secretary gazetted the regulation which stopped the sugar import and sugarcane into this country.
Let's take a look at what's happening away from Kenya's borders and away from the Vatican, where President Uhuru Kenyatta is on a state visit. Ethiopia's Gonda residents have kicked off a blood drive in support of the peace efforts in Tigray and are preparing care packages of biscuits and water to send to Amhara special forces at the border between the two regions. Blood donation tents have popped up in several locations, and organizers said that hundreds of Gonda residents had donated since Wednesday. Tigray and Amhara have long been at odds over land along the border, and the International Crisis Group warned in June that the dispute could escalate into an all-out conflict. Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed vowed Friday that there would be airstrikes in the northern region of Tigray and urged civilians to reduce mass gatherings and thereby avoid becoming collateral damage in the conflict. Fears are mounting over the prospect of civil war after Abiy announced a military operation in the federal state, with which he is embroiled in a bitter feud.
Amhara fighters to give our blood to them. There may be injured persons, injured military persons. That's why we give not only in blood, we are supporting in cash and other materials.
Let's take a look at what's happening in the world of sports. And the need to produce quality football talent in Kenya has increased, with former players using their knowledge and skills to develop upcoming players. Former Kenyan international Maurice Sunguti is using the Syokimau Soccer Academy to build on professionalism and on and off the pitch in young players from Machakos County.
Vile nimecheza nje, football haina shortcut hata kidogo. Lazima tuanze development kutoka kwa youth. Especially kijana akipita kwa hizo 4 phases of football pillars, which is introductory, then kuna basic, then kuna intermediate, then kuna advanced. Niko sure akifika umri wa miaka 20-21 atakuwa amepata mafunzo mazuri ya kuweza kumsaidia kucheza mpira wa kulipwa.